it was funny, I mean, I remember we got stuck, we were doing quite well. The build was going quite well, for the first couple of weeks, and, into the third week and the fourth week, and you've got 4 weeks to go. And, it's starting to hurt. You're really starting to feel, the work. I mean, you're going literally, I mean, it didn't stop. It just went 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the more you, the more you built, the more you realised you had to build. I mean, that was, it was like every time you thought, wow, we put a real big dent in this, you just went, oh, no. It was just frightening. And I guess a lot of people stopping by, and a lot of people watching the progress, and a lot of people sort of, and you could see the look in their eyes. You just knew they're just going, you guys aren't going to get there. You guys aren't going to get there. No, we'll get there. We'll get there. And it didn't matter. It didn't really matter, I guess, how many times you told yourself you were going to make it. You weren't going to make it. That was the reality of it. And but we kept going. I mean, that was this was the amazing part of the project. Is despite that, we weren't going to stop. We weren't going to give up, and we were going to get this done. And what started to happen, was people really, I guess, got behind the craziness of the whole thing, and understood, why we were doing this, and appreciated the fact that somebody was, that people were going to this effort to commemorate the 75th anniversary, to do this for the families, to do this for no other reason than, to remember this day. And what happened as a result. I mean, Brookvale's an incredible place. You have, there are so many wonderful people down here, and so many skilled people down here, and they just started coming. And it was, what can I do? How can I help? What do you need?
Bringing in other people being willing to give up their time to see a realisation, to see things coming to fruition, and to want to be a part of it. They can see an end result and see a point on a horizon that seemed like a myth even eight weeks ago.
It was funny, like Mark, who painted the aircraft. It was funny, I went up and saw him and I said, look, mate, do you mind throwing a bit of paint on this? It'll only take a few minutes. And I remember like 6 days later, he was still going, cursing my every breath, It was, but that was the beauty of it. I mean, it was, to get that many people to rally behind something is just, it's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and you've really got to thank everybody involved.
It is part of our history. It is part of what your parents might have talked to you about. It is a spirit in Australia that is rarely seen today, that has brought all of the team that have built this plane and assisted in its completion and its display on the 75th, getting it out there and showing what we can do. I think is great. It's wonderful, bringing back a spirit of adventure, bringing back a spirit of achievement, and what we've all done in our own small way is trying to keep that alive.
I've never seen anything like it, and they weren't doing it for us. They were doing it for the families as well, and they were doing it for the history, and it was, it was just incredible. And look, by the time we got down to that last couple of days, I mean, there were literally, dozens of people down here pulling that plane together. And what you saw were people who were, genuinely inspired by the story and by the history, and wanted to be a part of this event, and wanted to be a part of this day, and wanted to, help make this happen.
People that we hardly knew that came in and said, I'll give you a hand. Work until midnight, 1 a.m, 2 a.m. in the morning to see this thing through and make sure the deadline was reached. make sure that we got to the 75th, make sure we had a plane on the 75th that was presentable, it was beautiful, and it looked beautiful on the day. I mean, it was a great thing to be part of.
You know, it's interesting. I mean, you know, the reason I think that nobody else has done this is because, you know, you don't make money out of it, and it's as simple as that. And you know, you do this because you want it. You do this because you're interested in it. You do this because you know, it's something that you believe in. You know, and I guess the commercial side of what you're doing just doesn't exist. You know, I mean, you go and build a replica of the Lady Southern Cross and you know, put it in a park and have a commemorative day to honour these men, and you can't make money from it. Well, who the hell's going to be interested in that?
Don't just watch history, be a part of it. Become a history maker. historymaker.net.au